Got a crispy critter for you, Doc. Laura Fanning nodded absently as the deputy sheriff led her through the early morning light toward the smoking embers of what had once been a 3-bedroom ranch on the fringe of Sunken Meadow State Park. Crispy critter. She hated the way the term casually objectified a dead fellow human being. Same with the ever-popular DB. But she suppressed a sanctimonious comment, no point in getting all holier-than-thou on him. She understood the defense mechanism involved, especially in cops and morgue workers. They saw so much death, so many horrendous examples of man's inhumanity to man, or the results of simple stupidity, or the random assaults by nature and machinery on the human body, that they had to erect some sort of emotional firewall. Those unable to raise that barrier didn't last long. Laura made do with victim, or Vic. "How's Marissa doing?" the deputy said. His name was Philip Lawson, and he looked like he'd been plucked from Central Casting's file of deputy sheriffs. Thinning hair under his black Stetson, florid face, button-stretching gut, but a good man. One of the first deputies Laura had met when she joined the Suffolk County Medical Examiner's staff 5 years ago. He was already a veteran then. She figured he'd been with the sheriff's department close to 20 years now. He'd guided her through her first crime scenes. An easygoing man with a generous spirit. Her only problem with him was that he seemed to like her a little too much. He could get a bit clingy at times. Oh, and he had this thing he did with his neck, rotating it back and forth until it cracked, like popping a giant knuckle. Very annoying after a while. "She's great," she said. "Bored as all get out with staying home all the time. You'd figure she'd be used to it by now." "Would you be?" He laughed. "I can't wait. When I retire, I'm never leaving home. Not even for the paper. I'll have Newsday and the Post delivered right to the front door every goddamn morning." Natasha, Marissa's tutor, had agreed to come early today so Laura could get out to the crime scene. Being a deputy ME allowed her a normal work schedule on most days, except when she was on crime scene call, and Wednesday was her call day. Accidents and murders always seemed to happen during the off hours. Death tended to be inconsiderate that way. "Not much left," she said, looking around at the blackened ruins. "You suspect arson, I take it?" He popped his neck. "Oh, yeah." "The squad's been out?" "Nope. But all-knowing Swami Lawson's got it pegged." He smiled as he shrugged. "Seen enough of these. The smoke was reported around 2 a.m. By the time the fire crew got here, it was pretty much over. This baby burned hot. I mean, real hot. Hotter than wood and fabric will burn on their own. I don't catch any odor of gas or kerosene, but some sort of accelerant was at work here. And you know what that means." Laura knew. Arson meant she'd be posting a murder victim. At this point, the legal subsets, first degree, manslaughter, felony murder, whatever, didn't come into play. But later on, the designation would hinge on her final report. The burden had now fallen on her to establish the cause of death, not just beyond a reasonable doubt, but beyond any doubt, because her findings would help determine the charges brought against the perp or perps when they were caught. "How'd you get involved?" "Well, the fire did threaten the state park, and that's the sheriff's turf." But murder wasn't. The Stadies and local Smithtown cops would be handling that. Still, Laura knew how Phil liked to worm his way into any investigation that involved a murder. Deputy Lawson, detective wannabe. He probably would have made a good one. He liked to talk about vegetating through retirement, but she wouldn't be surprised if he didn't end up doing some PI work. They stepped through a leaning rectangle of blackened steel, all that was left of the front door. The walls were gone, too. "Do we have a name?" "Not yet. We figure it's a winter rental. Found a for rent sign in the backyard. We're tracking down the owner." Phil stopped and made a flourish toward the floor. "There he be."